Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Alright, so the Cracker Barrel fallout continues, and day by day, as we're getting more and more information, what happened is becoming clearer and clearer. I guess you could call it the Cracker Barrel brand autopsy, where things went wrong. Well, I think clearly what we're watching unfold here is exactly what happens when woke marketing gimmicks and corporate greed start to take priority over common sense and just doing things the right way. When you throw away the soul of the brand, when you cheap out on quality, when you implement a bunch of ESG standards and start hiring a bunch of DEI executives who think decolonizing the brand is more important than actually serving good food and keeping and preserving tradition, well then suddenly, a once beloved American staple turns into a hollow shell, and hollow's the right word because it's not just hollow of substance, but now it seems hollow of people, customers, patrons. Empty dining rooms and rock-hard biscuits seems to describe the current state of the brand. Let me show you guys a couple clips and let's continue to talk about this Cracker Barrel fiasco. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so let's first start off with this viral clip right over here. We've got a young girl dining with her family at Cracker Barrel, and then she starts looking around and realizes that there's basically nobody in the restaurant.
Okay, we came to Cracker Barrel tonight for dinner. Our rolls are tiny and hard.
Biscuits are hard.
Oh, this one,
very hard.
biscuits. And it is so dead. Hold on, we'll send this out. Hold on. There's nobody here. I will say the hash brown casserole tasted like literal cardboard. It was awful. They changed that, and even the waitress said they had completely changed the recipe on that. My dumplings are not the same dumplings that they used to be. The mac and cheese was actually still good. That wasn't bad.
Coleslaw sucked.
Yeah, the coleslaw was awful. Overall, I probably would not be back. Unfortunately.
Done.
It's a full-on collapse, folks. I mean, how many of these clips do we need to cover until that becomes very clear? You know, there's a reason why Cracker Barrel did a full 180. It's not because of the social media outrage. It's not a PR decision. It was a business decision. Trust me, if these companies could get away with their woke crap, they would double down. The only way they pivot, as we've seen, is when their bottom line gets seriously affected. And that's exactly why DEI has been collapsing across the board. Once it became undeniable that woke was bad for business, get woke, go broke. Once it went from slogan to harsh reality for a lot of these corporate executives, well, only then did they lift a finger. And so here's more proof of the complete collapse of the brand. Very quickly going back to reacting to that clip, I'm sure you'll start to notice a little bit of a common denominator. That one moment where she held up the biscuit and said it's rock hard. Yeah, that seems to be the theme right now, doesn't it? Just a couple days ago, we covered another family that said the same thing. They were served stale, hard biscuits. And just think about it. I mean, that's the staple of the brand, sitting down and getting delicious biscuits. Apparently, Cracker Barrel can't even do that right anymore. And it really makes you think about the clip that we played a couple days ago, reacting to the 94-year-old founder of the brand, his reaction of disgust to the Cracker Barrel rebrand. He asked a very important yet obvious question. Why aren't they focused on food? Why blow hundreds of millions of dollars to try to decolonize the brand, to try to turn it into some soulless, mass-producible garbage, when the actual problem is that your food is frozen trash? Clearly the founder understood it, clearly the customers are starting to understand it, but obviously the executives didn't. And now, well, the issues continue, as the focus has now gone from the woke rebranding to the issues relating to quality control. Here's a video that really ought to put things into perspective. We've got a longtime former Cracker Barrel cook. He claims that he worked there for, I think, 7 or 8 years. He released this video explaining exactly what's gone wrong.
If you think what's happening in the front of house of Cracker Barrel is bad, you should know that what's happening behind the scenes in the back is even worse. I worked at Cracker Barrel for 8 years as a cook. And it's slowly gone downhill with a rapid acceleration in the past year. Let's start with biscuits. You can see here, they're frozen now. What they used to do is I used to make these pans of biscuits every day for like an hour, is how long they would last, because we went through them. And they would be hot and fresh straight out of the oven for the guests. And now they freeze them for days ahead of time. So what you could be getting is days old, and they just put them in a warmer for about 40 minutes, and that's what you're getting. And that's why they look like this now, instead of those nice big thick fluffy biscuits with butter smeared on top. No, you're getting frozen nothing. And the same with dumplings. They'll produce like 7, 8 pans of dumplings at a time and freeze them instead of having nice fresh dumplings cooked for you. Next, meatloaf. It's microwave now too. Originally, when I first started working there, I would make multiple for the day. And then you would get a nice, fresh, hot piece of meatloaf. And now they cook 8 to 12 to 15 a day and then bag them up like this for you and microwave it. The fried apple, green bean, the pinto beans. I mean, they're bagged up at the end of the night. And then you are probably getting a nice microwaved side as well with your nice microwave meatloaf. The way it used to be done is they would be cooked every day fresh in a kettle. They would boil them, and now instead of that, they're even putting them in pans and water and then baking them because it's faster and you can keep up with it. It was just changed for the sake of change. Bacon doesn't touch a grill at Cracker Barrel. If you go to Cracker Barrel, you're getting baked bacon. So you should know this is not the worst of it. The worst of it is in the back, and it's what they're giving to their supposed guests. You're spending money on microwave nothing. And it's all for the sake of the stockholders and the corporate side because they can't help but ruin the guest experience for their bottom line.
He lays it all out. The biscuits aren't even made fresh anymore. They're pre-made, they're frozen, then heated up. Everything's made in bulk and then reheated or microwaved. A bunch of mass-produced trash in plastic bags. You're getting flavorless, old food that's put in a damn microwave, coming out soggy, probably laced with microplastic, and don't even get RFK Jr. started on the preservatives and all kinds of unpronounceable crap that's probably in the food as well. And just compare that to the old days when the biscuits were made from scratch every morning, when the food was more fresh and felt homemade and authentic. You know, now it's just another cookie-cutter corporate diner. No different from Taco Bell, no different from Applebee's. And you know what? That's the inevitable result. This is what happens when private equity and ESG-driven corporations take over. Throw away the soul of the brand, the Americana culture on display, the hospitality, and the quality of the food, and just keep squeezing every last penny with all these cheap gimmicks. Slap your modern branding on the restaurant. Try to motivate customers to come and eat your trash food, not because the biscuits are piping hot and fresh, but because you just hired a female executive. Ooh, my representation. Oh, we just posted something about gay lawn chairs on LinkedIn. Don't you want to eat at Cracker Barrel now? It's a slap in the frickin' face. Frankly, I find it's an insult to our intelligence, thinking customers are dumb enough to fall for your gimmicks instead of having basic dining standards. And so, I guess you could say that there's been a little bit of an evolution here. What began as a revolt against a woke rebrand has spiraled into something much bigger. I think people are starting to wake up to the rot at the core of the company and many other companies, the declining food quality, the reliance on chemicals and preservatives, the total loss of authenticity. It's not just about the logo anymore. No, this is what happens when you let the corporate gimmicks, the woke executives, take control. And hopefully this whole fiasco is a wake-up call. Customers don't want their history erased, and they also don't want microwaved plastics and ESG marketing tricks. They want real food, real quality, real culture. And hopefully they're saying it loud enough for not just Cracker Barrel, but every other company to get the damn memo. But honestly, if you ask me, and look, this may be harsh, screw Cracker Barrel. It's a shell of its former self. It's owned by Vanguard and BlackRock. Instead of supporting these massive franchises that have been bought by private equity firms, support something grassroots, support the little guys, support small business, support the mom and pop shop. You'll have a better experience and you'll likely even live longer. It's a win-win. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.